Hello, my name is Scott Franson, and today we're going to learn how to use Photoshop to create a mock-up for a vinyl sticker. This is an example that we're looking at on the screen of a drawing that I did with a ballpoint pen on a post-it note, and on the right this is an example of the same drawing once we've created a mock-up out of it. So to start off with, I'm going to close this file, and we're going to start with a original scan of the image. This scan is 600 pixels per inch, so that it's just a little bit bigger than it's double actual size. And then click and drag around the outside of the image. Leave yourself a little bit of space. Then we're going to crop it. Image crop. Image crop. That makes it so that we only have to worry about the image area that's inside of the yellow there, and it's easier to clean up. To clean this image up, let's zoom in on this so that we can have an idea of what's going on. To clean this image up, the first thing that we're going to do is add an adjustment layer. Down at the bottom of the layers palette, there is a little circle with a line through it. That is an adjustment layer. Click on that and go to black and white. The only thing that this layer does is it makes it so that when we adjust levels in the next step, that you don't have to worry about color, and it makes it much easier. Then go to the adjustment layer again and go to levels. There's two things you want to look at. There's a black eyedropper and a white eyedropper. Let's start with the white eyedropper. The white eyedropper, you'll notice that there are lots of really light pixels here. That's this background. We want to get all of these pixels to be white. And so the way you do that is you find an area out on your drawing that's fairly dark. Notice right there in between, that's fairly dark. So I can click there, and that makes everything that was that dark and lighter white. Now we want to do the same thing for black. So we'll select black and come out here and click on a lighter area in the black. Let's try that. There we go. So that makes all of the pixels that are that light or darker black, and so it stretched them out. So now we have a solid white background and areas of solid black inside of the image area. So I'm going to double click on the hand tool so you can see what, click twice, 1, 2. This makes it so you can see the full drawing. The whole drawing fits on the screen. It's as big as it can be. Now we're going to use channels in order to select all of the white. So go to channels, and on the composite channel, hold down Command and click on the composite channel. Click on the icon. You'll notice that will create a selection around the outside. So we're going to go back to layers and create a new layer. Let's hide the other layers. We won't need those anymore. And right now the background is selected. We want the white is selected. We want the black selected. So go to Select, Inverse, and now the black is selected. So choose a dark color. I'll just select black there and do Option Delete. And then Command D. This Command D deselects the marquee tool. Then so that it's and then we'll go from here. What we want to do now is we want to make sure that this area doesn't get messed up, so we want to save it. So right here is Lock Transparency. By locking that transparency, it allows us to choose any other color and then do Option Delete, and it will change the line to any color you choose. And Option Delete fills with the foreground color. This is the foreground color right here. So let's start with that. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to create, use the magic wand tool to select all of the areas that we want to color. And so to do that, the magic wand tool is located here. So magic wand tool. Then make sure that you click Sample All Layers right there, and then click in one of the petals and hold Shift and click in all of the petals because we want those colored. We want the center of the flower colored, and we want the sections of the leaves colored. Now let's zoom in so you can see what happens here. So while that we've got that done, you can see the selection is right along the edge. We're going to go to Select, Modify, Expand. And we want to expand by 4 pixels. This is going to expand the drawing area. So I'll say OK. And so it moved everything in 4 pixels. It makes it so that you don't have a white halo around the edge of your strokes. So now I'm going to double click on the hand tool again, and I'm just going to fill this with a color. Let's pick a petal color. Let's do an orange color. So I'll do Option Delete. Whoops, I need to make a new layer. Many of you might have done that, so we'll do make a new layer and then do Option Delete. Now that might look kind of messy, but once you drag it and move it behind the flower, then those are your solid layers. So let's suppose that I wanted to make the leaves green. I'm going to select the paintbrush tool, and we'll select just a common brush. Let's select in the general brushes a hard round brush. And if I want to paint the leaves, I can come in here and I can paint the leaves, but I have to stay inside of the lines. Well, I've got a trick for you. So we'll do Command Z to undo that. Under Layer 2, lock the transparency, and that allows you to do this. You can color, and it will. I'm going to make the brush bigger by doing right bracket. It's the square bracket. I'll make the brush bigger. You can just go like that. I'm not fond of that green color. I'm going to select a little bit sagier color. There we go. That's good. And then we want the center of this color. Make the brush a little bit smaller by left bracket, and we'll select this color. And we'll color that. All right, so now that we've got the image colored, now that we've got the image colored, we want to add a white border around the outside. So now that once you have the image colored in the line, we want to select everything that exists on both of those layers. So in the same way we selected the composite channel, you can click, and that click on layer 2, and then hold shift and click on layer 1, and that selects all of the opaque pixels that we have in this drawing. We're going to add a new layer. We'll call this new layer white. Go to Select, Modify Selection, Expand. So we did this once before, 4 pixels, but this time we want to expand to create the border around the outside. So let's try 15. Okay? And so that expands the border out around the drawing. And then we'll select white. Now that you have the selection made, we're going to use Path in order to smooth that out a little bit. Go to Path. In the flyout menu of the Path window, say Make Work Path. Select Tolerance 5. Click OK. This creates a path around the outside and smooths the edge so that you get a nice smooth edge on your drawing. Let's go back to layers. We've got white right here, and in paths, once that work path is selected, highlighted gray like that, you can click on this small circle, which will fill that with white. Then click once below the work path to deselect it, and go back to layers and move the white down below your layers. We want to add some adjustments, some effects to this. Do drop shadow. And let's do the drop shadow. Let's just we'll just leave that where it is. It's not bad. And then we'll go to Bevel and Emboss. And on Bevel and Emboss, slide the size and soften down to 0. That gives just a touch. Let's zoom in. Just a little bit of thickness to the sticker. If we turn Bevel and Emboss off, watch. It gives just a tiny edge to the sticker. So we'll select these 3 layers, make a smart object, do Convert to Smart Object. Let's call this Flower. And then we're going to drag out of the window so that we have two windows open. There's the notebook PNG. If it's not open, do File Open. And you can drag from one layers palette to another layers palette. And there you have a sticker on a notebook cover. So hopefully that was helpful. I think it's pretty cool, and hope to see you again soon.